Our top focus story is this latest image from handheld thermal imagers. These are images that have been captured on a BSF camera. In the middle of the night, you have suspicious movement. Infiltrators, they could be snipers sneaking close to the line of control. Now from a distance, that handheld thermal imager scanning the area saw suspicious movement, but there was a difference. Usually the heat is captured very clearly on these cameras, but in this case what was noticed that these people who were trying to sneak in had a thick blanket and shawl on top of them. The aim was to hide the heat that is emanated from the body and that way come as close to the line of control, come as close to the border as possible before throwing away the blanket and opening fire at the BSF post. That was the strategy, but fortunately for that alert BSF team, they spotted the suspicious movement, they opened fire. Just to be sure, they also lobbed two light mortars in that area. What they noticed was sometime later, one person appeared to be injured. He had a weapon in his hand and he was being taken back by another person who had initially been seen coming close to the line of control, coming close to the international border. After one sniper incident in which Constable Gurnam was killed, the BSF is taking no chances. Any suspicious movement, they are opening fire at that suspicious movement. Of course, the latest along the line of control and the international border is, since yesterday, no ceasefire violations by Pakistan, no incident on either side of the line of control except this little incident where the BSF opened fire at suspicious movement, forcing those infiltrators / terrorists / snipers to head back.
Images of Pakistani terrorists at the international border in Hiranagar. The terrorists caught on thermal imaging cameras, attempting to infiltrate into India. The footage helping BSF troopers foil the midnight Diwali terror plot. But Pakistani terrorists are aware that the Indian Jawans are using thermal imaging cameras to track them and push them back. Watch these animal-like figures moving in this thermal imaging clip closely. These are not cattle, but terrorists from across the border. The enemy has changed its terror tactic, using blankets to throw off Indian soldiers and slip past thermal cameras. Here is the science behind the new Pakistan terror plot. Thermal cameras use body temperature to capture images. When Pakistani terrorists use blankets, they keep them warm while also masking body heat and thwarting the handheld thermal imaging cameras used by our Jawans. But Indian Jawans are aware of the shifting terror strategy, detecting the slightest movement at the border, tracking and shooting down the enemy. With Ashwini Kumar in Jammu, Bureau Report, India Today.
Breaking news coming in even as we speak. There is a search operation that is currently underway in Baramulla in North Kashmir. Now, even as we speak, there has been some suspicious movement that was noticed in that area, and after that suspicious movement was noted, the army has fanned out in Baramulla area. Now remember, not far from Baramulla in Uri, there was an incident where Pakistani border action team infiltrated and attacked an army position and administrative base. 19 of our brave soldiers were lost in that incident. But in this case, in Baramulla, there's a search operation that is currently underway. The army has fanned out in this area. I want to bring in India Today's Ashwini Kumar for more on this story. Ashwini, army fanning out in Baramulla area. There's apparently a search operation on. What more are your sources telling you? Is this terrorist movement? Could this be a border action team? There was an intelligence alert.
Yes, Gaurav, there is a report that some of the terrorists are infiltrated in Baramulla area, and no, the intelligence agencies are just checking whether these are fresh infiltration or it's old infiltration, but they have been given a task to attack some of the security establishment like CRPF, BSF or the army. That is the reason that the alert has been sounded all along the international border and line of control that the BAT operation either from the terrorist side or the assisted by the ISI or the SSG, they will attack the establishment. So they have been alerted.
Keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more. For the moment, Ashwini Kumar, many thanks. I now want to shift focus to the latest that's coming in from that hospital in the Jammu sector. 14-month-old Pari, that little child who was injured in Pakistani shelling along the international border. She is recovering, God willing, recovering well. Now, doctors who are treating her, they are praying, they've done their best. They've asked her parents, they've asked her relatives to pray for her speedy recovery.
One-year-old Pari's plight has the entire nation praying for this little victim of Pakistan's shelling. Pari's distraught family, neighbors and politicians wishing for her speedy recovery and return home.
बहुत ही अफसोस की बात है कि इस तरह की जो बॉर्डर पे कशीदगी हुई है दोनों तरफ से, उसकी वजह से सिविलियंस का बहुत नुकसान हो रहा है.
The 14-month-old baby didn't know the fate awaiting her and her family when Pakistani shells hit her home in Samba, killing 4 from her family as they celebrated Bhai Dooj on Tuesday, while Pari sustained grievous injuries to her neck and spine.
Patient Pari is showing improvement following surgery. She is stabilized, but still she is in a crucial stage because another 3-4 days are very crucial for her.
While the little victim of Pakistan's border treachery is on the road to recovery, her anxious mother and relatives hover over their little angel, unable to help their child in pain. With Ashwini Kumar in Samba, Bureau Report, India Today.
There is pain, there are prayers for Pari's speedy recovery. Apart from Pari, there are also others. Now, in this relentless firing and shelling that happened, of course, none since last night, several people were displaced. Now, the paddy crop, it's ready, it's waiting to be harvested, but there are no people there. The labor has gone back, but people who live in these villages, for example, Abdulliya, where we are at the international border, hundreds of homes abandoned, not just here. Ranbir Singh Pura, Kathua, Samba, Abdulliya, homes are all abandoned and people are living in makeshift shelters. Schools, ITIs, government buildings, they've all been converted into these shelters for people. How are they managing there? What are they thinking? What are they saying? Ashwini Kumar with this report.
Absolute Pakistani treachery. Pakistani troops unable to match India's surgical strike and retaliation to ceasefire breach turned their guns on innocents, killing over 13 civilians, including women and children. 24 others were injured on Tuesday alone.
Tragedy has struck villages at the international border for no fault of the civilians. Many of them are now bearing the brunt of the crossfire, mostly because Pakistan troops chose to fire on innocent lives. Some young children, women being targeted, and obviously the men of the villages. Now, many of those people had decided to stay on, some of them to just give moral support to the BSF and to the army.
9-year-old Sanjana suffered extensive fractures on both her legs from splinter. From Suchetgarh, she was rushed to Jammu for treatment.
हम बैठे हुए थे, ऊपर से बम पड़ा तो मैं गिर गई, तो दादी बोली चलो चलो अंदर, मैं अंदर गई, कूद ही गई अंदर, किसी ने मम्मा ने मुझे खींच के अंदर लिया।
साढ़े लिए ते बड़ा हर साल चाहिए होता है, एक बार चाहते जंग लगा खत्म हो जाइए।
In another ward of Jammu Government's Hospital, Girdhari Lal's 27-year-old son is battling for life after suffering serious injuries.
सेल जो हमारे घर में गिरा है, वो ये बच्चा उधर खड़ा था, उसको लग गया, ये पूरा शरीर उसका शानी हो गया।
Many of them obviously running out of option. This is a harvest season. This is the time they want to be out in the fields. But definitely, as the wards are filling up with patients, there is a concern that perhaps it is important to just live rather than earn a livelihood.
The images of human suffering have exposed unspeakable Pakistani brutality. Islamabad now needs some serious explaining. With Kamaljeet Sandhu in Jammu, Bureau Report, India Today.
Unfortunately, in Pakistan, there is no accountability and its army does not own up responsibility for the losses that it is causing on the Indian side. You saw Sanjana's story there, Kamaljeet Kaur Sandhu reporting. But now, let's take a look at others who are affected by this all along the international border and in parts of the line of control. Relentless Pakistani firing and shelling over the past 1 week forced people to abandon their homes. Some homes are destroyed, many lives have been destroyed, livelihood, people are not even talking about it, living in makeshift shelters. Well-to-do families, hundreds of them sharing one room. All they want is peace to return. They also want the government to take concrete steps to ensure that their lives is not disrupted every couple of months or at least twice a year. Some concrete action to be taken that Pakistan does not remain a state sponsor of terror. Let's take a look.
Enter to learn, says the signboard. But for the children living in villages and towns along the international border, these gates leading to education and erudition are shut. Schools and colleges are turning into refugee camps as Pak shells are raining death and destruction.
In view of the shelling and firing from the Pakistani side, the state government has closed down all border schools. You can see that most of the villagers, they have shifted to their safe places, and the school children, they are roaming in the this safety camp, and this is a IIT Araspura area.
इधर हमारा बेटा ना इंजीनियर कर रहा है, तो बहुत मुश्किल है। आज 15-16 दिन से जो स्कूल जो के गांव के लोग हैं वो सभी इधर आए हुए हैं।
आप अंदाजा लगा ही सकते हो कि बच्चों की पढ़ाई कितनी जरूरी है, उनका भविष्य खराब हो रहा है।
Most of the border villagers, they have shifted from the all border villages from the all 3 districts of Jammu, and they are here because of the safety, because the Pakistani shell can hit them anytime.
As Pakistani rangers train their guns at civilian areas along the border, India's future is the casualty. With Ashwini Kumar, Bureau Report, India Today.
Rahul Gandhi, the Congress Party Vice President, leading the charge on one rank, one pension agitation after an ex-soldier allegedly committed suicide. He spoke to my colleague Supriya. Let's listen in.
Now, we wanted to file a complaint. They're refusing to file a complaint in the police station. That's completely illegal. So, they're not accepting a complaint. We have put a complaint there, they're not accepting the complaint.
But Mr. Gandhi, you've been arrested thrice in last 24 hours.
So, no, what I don't understand is why the police is not accepting the complaint of a citizen of India.
You will be protesting again?
No, I'm waiting here because we are putting a complaint against what happened and the police station is refusing to accept our complaint. So we are going to wait here until they accept our complaint.
Mr. Gandhi, what to make of this? You guys are protesting peacefully.
No, I don't know. It's a bit strange, but let's see.
Yesterday you said it's a new kind of India we are seeing.
Yeah. This is नरेंद्र मोदी जी का नया हिंदुस्तान है ये, जहां हिंदुस्तान का एक नागरिक पुलिस स्टेशन में जाता है प्रेस के सामने जाता है और कहता है कि मैं एक कंप्लेंट डालना चाहता हूं और वो कंप्लेंट नहीं ली जा रही है, पहली बार हुआ है।
Well, this is what the Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi told us before leaving. Well, this is Supriya Bharadwaj for India Today at the moment near Tughlaq Road Police Station.
Time for In This India First special coming to you from the international border. Many thanks for watching.